the steps and that forgers and fakers go through to make these, because you can find fake Mathewsons and Cobbs easily. The steps they use for faking these cards, they go through the effort of making them look old. For instance, to create a lot of wear, they will soak them in coffee or tea, so it leaves that browning effect like it was aged. And then they will work on the corners to make them rounded. The easy way to spot something is if a card, like I noticed about a year or two ago, and they submit these to local auction houses, not to the baseball card auction houses, because they do the diligence beyond belief of having more than one grade, more than one authenticator. They do the diligence to make sure that their auction reputation is protected. But local auctions that are in the neighborhood or in your state, they're like fences for these forgers, where the auctioneer will, before he starts an auction, will say, not responsible for authenticity or whatnot. And they announce that they're not responsible no matter what. I went to an auction house about 3 years ago where they were fake T206s, fake all Cobb cards. And I told them, I said, these cards are fake. And they said, well, how do you know that? I said, I'm not giving you a lesson now. However, what happened is that one of the buyers ended up spending $2,700 on these cards, found out after they were all fake. They weren't worth 10 cents. So you've got to be very, very careful. And if you don't know, I always, every article will tell you, buy from people in the know, people you trust. You pay a little bit more so you don't have the pain of being taken. And that's, I mean, I just don't know how to say it. If the deal sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't.
It's actually important to verify the authenticity of it. A lot of people are griping with like how eBay now has that threshold, but all the time when I went on eBay and looked at the 1933 Gaudis, for example, the Ruths, the Garrigs, man, they were all fake on there. I wouldn't say everything was fake, but the majority of the cards I saw were fake, especially as well as like the 86 Jordans. All what you're talking about with the rounded corners on them, the artificial aging, and people are spending thousands of dollars trying to bid it up, thinking that they're going to get like a PSA 1 or a 2 on these cards, and they're horrible counterfeits.
Oh, it's, there are amateurs and there are pros. I do know, like, I always get suspect. Do I go on air to describe all the faults and flaws? So if a counterfeiter is like listening and watching, he can say, okay, this is what we got to fix. And so it's you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. However, there's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing a collector be burned for money that took them so long to earn or whatever. It's I've seen this, I can't tell you, and especially in the autograph market, so many times. It's just, if you're not in tune to being able to make a judgment professionally on your own with your own eyes, buy it graded, so that way from a reputable grading company, not a company that's out of business or whatnot. I don't want to promote other grading companies, but I think we all know who the 2 or 3 top grading companies are that take responsibility for their grades. And then that way you're safe and you're sure. It's always a tragic scene to see a collector get hurt, but you've got to really, I could tell you stories about the forging process of uniforms and everything by soaking them in substances and putting them in the oven and baking them. I mean, soaking them in coffee and tea. I mean, they'll go through any extent to burn you for thousands of dollars. So, regarding the T206s, always remember there's no gloss, high gloss on the front. Examine the front of the card carefully and be sure that if it's got sharp corners and it looks like a PSA 8, I've never seen a T206 PSA 8. Have the alarms start going off real quick.